Welcome to a new old episode of Science Factory. Right now, I'm at home, but in just 2 days, I'll be flying back to Egypt. That's why I'm preparing everything in advance, including scheduling the interviews I want to share while I'm away. Unfortunately, I couldn't finish editing the interview I recorded in Madrid. It turned out to be more challenging than I expected, but hopefully it will result in 2 different publications. The collaboration with Isabel Olves from the National Archaeological Museum in Madrid was a real pleasure, and I want to thank her again for her patience and generosity. I should also thank my dear ex-husband, Jose Miguel Serrano, who helped me with the recording. It wasn't easy to have an assistant for the first time, but I must admit it felt rather sweet to get a little friendly revenge on him. But let's get straight to the point. As I said, this is a new old episode of Science Factory, the last one actually. Last week I published my interview with Dr. Campbell Price, which was the second collaboration I did with La Fábrica de la Ciencia, and now it's time for the very first one. For those of you who have recently joined this channel, let me give you a little context. It was late November last year, and I had just returned from a long, intense trip to Egypt. My friend Ernesto Graf, whom some of you may know from previous interviews about his work at TT49, asked me if I would be interested in interviewing Dr. Zahi Hawass. For anyone unfamiliar with him, let me show you a few images. Dr. Hawass is one of the most famous Egyptologists in the world, and suddenly I was about to interview him. Of course, I said yes. That's also how I first got in contact with Jorge Unsulve from La Fábrica de la Ciencia. That interview marked the beginning of our collaboration, which eventually led to the creation of Science Factory. After several international interviews and a lot of trouble with subtitles, we realized we needed a proper space to present them. So long story short, and yes, I know this wasn't short at all, I just wanted to say that I find this first interview hilarious to watch now. You'll see me sitting there stiff as a stick because my role was only supposed to be translating. I was literally writing everything down, preparing for a simultaneous translation, which thankfully never happened. To make you a few questions to find out more about your work and your career. So that's why the first question is about your PhD. As we know, you earned your PhD in the University of Pennsylvania, and we would like to know more about the topic you chose, about who was your supervisor, who you worked with, and everything you can tell us about your PhD.
I went to the University of Pennsylvania as a Fulbright scholar. And the Fulbright paid for 2 years, and the Egyptian government paid for me for 5 years. And my topic of the doctorate was about the Giza Plateau, was about the 3 kings at Giza, Khufu and Khafre and Menkaura. I studied all the archaeology of the site, and I came to the conclusion of the function of the pyramid complex, why pyramids were built, and also in the same time discussing all the archaeological details around each pyramid, because each pyramid attached to it about 14 architectural components, and all these components were not really in an accurate way studied to know the function of each component. I was able to do that. I took 4 years in courses, and I finished my doctorate in 3 years, and I came to Egypt to be the director of the pyramids.
And since the start of your career as an Egyptologist, once you returned to Egypt, what have been your most important discoveries, or what have been the most exciting missions you have been part of?
The most important discovery that happened right after I came from the States and to be the director of the pyramid, I discovered, number one, a big, large cemetery west of the Great Pyramid of Khufu. And one tomb was for a dwarf. His name is Berni Ankhu. And the inscription in the dwarf say, "He who pleases his majesty every day," used to make the king happy. And the statue is really beautiful, seated statue found in the tomb. And next door to this tomb, another tomb for a priest. His name was Kai. And I found the statue of the priest Kai, and his daughter seated beside him, and his son standing beside him. And the other important discovery that happened is a major important discovery I found the tombs of the pyramid builders that proves two important things. Number one, that the builders of the pyramids were Egyptian, based on the names that I found inside the cemetery. And the second, the builders of the pyramids were not slaves, because if they were slaves, they will never be buried in the shadow of the pyramid. If they were slaves, they will never prepare their tombs for eternity like kings and queens. This discovery came in a time when I was debating some people who really talks about the age of the pyramid, and they date the pyramid to 15,000 years ago by lost civilization, was completely wrong.
Which of the archaeological missions you have been part of do you remember most passionately?
No, I still excavating until now. You are not talking about my memories. You are talking about I'm excavating in Saqqara now in two major sites, and made major important discovery in Saqqara, coffins and mummies, and we are in the process of excavating a new pyramid. And in Luxor, I'm still excavating in the Valley of the Kings for searching for the tomb of Queen Nefertiti in the Valley of the Kings, and the tombs of the queens of Dynasty 18. And also I discovered a big major discovery, which is the Golden City, a big large city dated to the reign of Amenhotep III. On the 8th of January, I'm making a big press conference in Luxor announcing a major discovery happened near the temple of Queen Hatshepsut in Luxor.
What is the current status of the research? Are excavations still ongoing? And well, you said that you're going to make an announcement in January very soon. I was going to ask about publications. Are there any publications going to be released soon?
I published all I wrote books and articles about my excavation in Saqqara and in Luxor, and I published 5 volumes about the excavation in the Valley of the Kings. Still more volumes to come, and there is a big volume about the discovery of the Golden City is going to be published soon.
You have a very powerful presence on social media. Do you think others should follow your example to share ancient Egypt's cultural and historical heritage?
And I don't really say that others should follow. I am a person who had passion for archaeology since I was young. And this passion is, I think it's made my fame. And if anyone wants to follow my career, he should have the same passion that I did have when I discovered the first statue in my career. And when I was cleaning the statue, I said, I found my love. Archaeology became my passion.
Okay, so we were talking about presence on social media and passion in Egyptology. I think many Egyptologists, almost all, I would say, feel a very deep passion for this scientific field. Me, myself, I do it too. And how do you see the future of Egyptology?
I mean, the future of Egyptology is really is very good, because we are using now new technology to discover many things like ultrasound and infrared to discover voids inside the Great Pyramid and the Sphinx. We're using 3D to discover new inscriptions inside the Pyramid of Khufu. We use DNA to discover a relation of mummies. I found with DNA the family of Tutankhamun and the mummy of Queen Hatshepsut. CT scan can reveal the secret of the mummies. Then really new technology now will give more light on many important issues that was not known in Egyptology.
What are your future projects? Because you are involved
My
in many
future
projects at the moment.
This year, I'm searching with DNA for the mummy of Queen Nefertiti and her daughter Ankh-Esenamun. I'm going to make what I discovered inside the Great Pyramid of Khufu live to the whole world next year in 2025. I'm searching for the pyramid of Honi in Saqqara that I made a film about it in Netflix. I'm searching also about the tomb of Queen Nefertiti in the Valley of the Kings. And also I'm searching for the lost queens in the new valley called the Valley of Marks. And also at Kornet Malay area, I'm searching for the missing tombs of the nobles. then year 2025 is going to be a very important year in my career as an archaeologist.
Unfortunately, Dr. Hawass didn't have much time and had to cut the conversation short. But still, we managed to ask him some very interesting questions. And from that point on, this whole journey continued. One advantage I had was that over the last 2 or 3 years, I've attended several international conferences. That gave me the opportunity to meet important and well-known specialists in different fields of Egyptology, which made it easier to reach out to them. Many were very generous with their time, agreeing to sit down and talk with me. And from online interviews to live interviews. I had the pleasure of talking to members of the Egypt Exploration Society in their cozy premises in London. And more recently, I could visit the National Archaeological Museum in Madrid on a closing day, having the museum just for us and the technicians busy with repairs and maintenance. I'm truly grateful for all the help and support I've received. Honestly, I never imagined I'd ever have the chance to speak to such relevant scholars. I will try to post that material as soon as I can. If you missed any of the previous interviews, don't forget to visit the channel to catch up. And if you enjoy this type of content, please like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps us keep going.